Budj Bim National Park. This is a couple of, about 5 or 6 weeks after a fire ripped through here, a couple of thousand hectares in size, and the government embarked on the first aerial culling of koalas possibly in Australia. 1,100 animals were killed, and yeah, I'm sort of in the central portion of the area that was burnt. This wasn't the hardest hit, there's other areas that were, and you can see there's quite a lot of manigum that have survived. Other locations, there's new growth happening after the fires already. And at this location there's plenty of scats on the ground, such as right here. And if you actually go under this tree, there's quite a lot. The problem is I've only seen 2 koalas for the whole day, so they've been really hard to find. So, and even in the live trees I haven't been able to spot only a couple of animals. So yeah, not all the park was burnt. Certainly some areas were. In some areas there's been a lot of crown burn in the manigums, but at this location, no, some trees haven't been burnt at all. You can see in the distance though, there's been that area was a bit more hard hit, and I've seen a fair lot of scats in those areas too, but very few koalas. So I'm wondering if the cull wasn't just in the burn areas, it was in other areas of the park as well. The other thing obvious today is that there was a fire came through here in 2020 and it burned out 6,000 hectares of Budj Bim. A fair portion of that was a backburn that ran amok. The fire this year was 2,000 hectares, with the government giving the excuse that that's 1,100 koalas had to be culled. So yeah, look, if I see some koalas I'll report it, but I've only seen 2 today, and one of them was up in the up around the volcanic crater at Budj Bim. I haven't seen any sign of dead animals. I presume that what's happened is that the government's come in with ground crews and they've probably picked up the 1,100 animals. We've heard that there's been pits dug west of here, possibly on private land, and that's where a lot of the koalas have been buried. But yeah, it's quite devoid of koalas at the moment, so interesting. The other interesting thing is that as I've been walking around, I've been thinking, with the fires in 2020 that hit here and the fires this year, that's 2 pretty big fires in 5 years. So Budj Bim, with one of the most significant manigum forests left on the planet, is already suffering from what appears to be climate change. The other unique problem here is that there's bluegum, thousands of hectares of bluegum surrounding this national park, and when the bluegum are logged, the displaced animals are honing in Budj Bim. And I think that's why we've got a discrepancy between animals that were assessed by carers and the like in 2020 after the fires then. I think it was a couple of hundred animals got assessed, and then 5 years later there's a smaller fire, only a third of the size of the one in 2020, and there's 1,100 animals shot from helicopter. Just showing you some of the terrain here. It is hard to walk into, there's no doubt about that. I've been sticking to tracks today, but you can see the basalt. Budj Bim, or Mount Eccles as it used to be called, was an old volcano. So this is all basalt, really hard to walk through. I might attempt to walk off the tracks soon, because there might be pockets of areas where the ground crews didn't go to because of the issue with walking through every step. You almost trip over through this stuff, so Yeah, it's tricky country to navigate. Anyway, I just thought I'd update people on how I see the Budj Bim situation. So it's definitely excessive use of force by the Victorian State Government to have 1,100 animals shot from helicopters because of, you know, they said they were burnt in the fire as well. I wonder how many healthy animals got shot as well. Thanks.